What do you think the 49ers' biggest issue is right now? Why are they 1-2?
The biggest issue for me right now, I mean, you could go special teams. That's always seems to be an issue last few years, but really it's defense. The defense to me is the biggest issue, and I think it's a combination of personnel and coaching. The 49ers last year fired Steve Wilks after holding teams to 17.5 points all year. This year so far, they're at 23 points per game. And if you're just looking at the first 3 games, Steve Wilks was 13.3 per game for the first 3 games, whereas the current administration, if you want to call him that, Sorensen and Staley, which I think is probably Staley is my guess. If I'm being real, I think he's the real coordinator. They're at 23. So over 10 points more per game for the first 3 games and over 5.5 points if you want to look at the entire body of work for Steve Wilks last year.
And I think I agree. It's got to be the defense, also the special teams. But that's disconcerting because from an outsider's perspective who didn't watch the games, you'd be like, oh, their issue is injuries. McCaffrey's out, Debo's out, Kittle's out. Ayuk's coming back from not practicing this offseason. Like the offense is rusty. Well, it's third in yards. It's 5th in yards per play. Like the offense actually is doing well. Brock Purdy's playing well. Jawan Jennings, holy moly. Jordan Mason, really good. The offense, I mean, it could have been better, but it's not necessarily the reason the Niners are 1-2. It's the defense, and the defense is missing Greenlaw. Yeah, and he's a really good player, but otherwise it's not really missing. Got Funga back yesterday, and that didn't change anything. So that is very disconcerting. I mean, this defense was the best defense in the league 2 years ago. Now it's giving up 6.1 yards per play, which is 3rd worst. Yeah. With Bosa and Fred Warner and Travarius Ward and Lenore and Leonard Floyd, and Hargrave, that can't happen. It's almost unfathomable. And you've gone against some bad offenses.
Yeah. And, I don't think we can make too much of the Greenlaw absence. Like Greenlaw, that is a big deal because, you watch the 49ers game with Greenlaw and Warner, you're always seeing Greenlaw is always flashing. Him and Warner flashing back and forth. Some days Greenlaw will have a better game than Warner. This year, I haven't even seen the linebackers do anything outside of Fred Warner. It's like they're not even on the field. They're not doing anything. So that is substantial, that Greenlaw absence. So I'm hoping he comes back at some point and he's healthy and he's the same Greenlaw that we've seen before. Devondre Campbell was not a good replacement for Dre Greenlaw. They absolutely need to go with one of these younger guys. I think Curtis Robinson is the guy. I really do. Give him a shot because he seems highly intelligent. He knows the system, and he flashed a lot in the preseason. So that's one move I would make right away. But even with that, I don't know if that's going to be the change that this team needs. I think it's a combination of this D-line is not as good as they thought. Nick Bosa is not playing. He's tied for 25th with 2 sacks. That's not good enough. You're the highest paid pass rusher in the NFL, the highest paid defensive player, I believe, in the NFL. What he's doing is not good enough. He's not living up to his contract. Javon Hargrave, he got a sack, but overall, I mean, not living up to his contract either. So there's a lot of guys not living up to the contract. I had the worst take of my, I've made a lot of bad takes, but before the season, I said the 49ers defense is going to be top 3 in the NFL. They're bottom 3 right now. They're just not playing up to their potential, and that has to be on personnel and coaching.
Absolutely. And I think what's so disconcerting about this is if the defense was the Niners defense, like it has been for the last 6-7 years, and the issue was injuries, and the issue was the offense, you'd say, well, you know what? These guys are coming back. This team's going to go on a run. It's okay. These aren't really the Niners right now. Once these guys get healthy, the defense is playing great. Just the offense will come around. Nothing to panic about. But what's going to fix this defense? It's not going to be McCaffrey. It's not going to be Debo or Kittle. It seems like, Steve Wilks isn't walking back through that door. I don't understand it. That, to me, is why after these couple of games, we might need to reassess how many wins the Niners are going to we expect the Niners to get this year. In fact, that'll be one of our topics a little later. Let's go through let's predict how many wins they're going to have. I originally had them winning 11 coming into this season. And now, I mean, I wasn't expecting the Niners to have one of the worst defenses in the league. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, me either. I thought they were going to win 12 coming in this season, and I look forward to going through that with you. Maybe we can look at the entire schedule. But I mean, they're last place in the NFC West right now. The Cardinals beat the Rams. Rams beat us. We have the same record as those two teams. Seahawks are undefeated. They are fourth place in the NFC West. I would never imagine that this team would be in this situation right now, and a large part has to do with this defense just playing awful.
You know how like we always make fun of the Cowboys? Like, they're not a serious team. What's the difference between the Niners and the Cowboys? 1-2, bunch of drama, wide receiver held out, got paid, isn't producing. Good quarterback, crap defense. Sorry, I'm not going to curse today. I want to be a little bit more professional, but like very similar. And we look at the Cowboys as being this like circus that's not really serious about doing what it takes to win. What about the Niners? They lost to a team, the Rams, who have won. They do know what it takes. They don't have drama in the offseason. You don't hear about Rams players holding out. And if they do, they get traded.
Yeah. I mean, this defense is the problem. I don't think this defensive line is adequate. I just. Yeah. If you look at the game we lost to the Vikings, if it wasn't for Fred Warner, they would have put up 14 more points on us. So Fred Warner single-handedly saved that game against the Vikings. Then they give up a 97-yard pass to Justin Jefferson, which is a bad play call. That was a play call issue. And then you look at this game, they gave up 27 points to the Rams, one of the worst teams in the NFL right now, with missing 7 starters. It's inexcusable.
Yeah, it's inexcusable. Like, you got diced up by Tutu Atwell. No disrespect to Tutu Atwell, but he was like their third receiver at best, and he made the difference. Joel says, can we get a good D coordinator hired midseason? Hey, Steve Wilkes is available. Can you imagine how happy he is right now? Like right now.
Yeah.
Probably fishing.
He probably was making the same facial expression. I don't know if you guys saw, but on the broadcast at the end of the game, they showed Jimmy Garoppolo on the sideline just smiling ear to ear. That's probably what Steve Wilkes is feeling right now.
Jimmy. Matthew McBride says defense has to do their part and get some stops. Yeah. Dustin the Gale says, why did they QB sneak twice on 4th and 1 at the 35, but then go for the field goal on 4th and 1 at the 15 on the same drive? Is that true?
I don't know if it was 4th and 1, but it was similar. Yeah.
I think it was 4th and 2. I think it was 4th and 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dustin,
I get it though. I understand what you're saying.